God's plan, y'all. God's plan. So I've spent the last couple of years working on my business, and it's been difficult. There's a lot of dreams being sold out there about how fast your business can begin to flourish. And one thing that I am sitting with right now is that whether it's in my business or it's being employed by someone else, recognize that you have a 6-figure skill somewhere within you. Like, if you've been developing yourself, if you even have an inclination to have a business, then you have a 6-figure skill. And with that 6-figure skill, you have lots of opportunities. Your only opportunity is not to hustle consumer to consumer trying to get clients, but you have a 6-figure skill that you can vie for a 6-figure salary with. And so love your business, have that passion, but don't be out here in these scarcity streets off of entrepreneurial hype. Like, I know there's an empire brewing on the inside of me. I have so many ideas, so many things that I want to create, and that in this lifetime I will create, if that's God's plan, right? But I did what I needed to do by necessity for the past couple of years. But right now, I am operating within a 6-figure skill that I have. And I don't have to hustle people online in order to put this 6-figure skill to use to make good money. And the climate right now is such that people can work from home. People can have that location freedom and flexible lifestyle, but also have a stable employer who's going to run you a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks, every month. It's good to have your entrepreneurial spirit. Yes, you need that. Have that entrepreneurial spirit. But also, don't be in the scarcity streets because somebody has over glamorized the entrepreneurial lifestyle that you think that you have to struggle to attain, when you can use that same exact 6-figure skill and put yourself in the employment market where you can have flexibility, learn, grow, earn, and really be able to invest in your business, invest in yourself, in your own well-being, and also to be able to give, right? I am a person, my perspective since I've learned about the power of giving and the power of abundance has been that every dollar you earn, every $5, every $10 you earn has such a powerful potential to it, because you have the ability to, just from my faith, you have the ability to tithe. And that God promises us that he's gonna multiply what we tithe, that he's going to multiply what we tithe. So you could be making $10 an hour right now. You could just be making $500 a month, and take that 10% and give it to God so that God can do the multiplication on it. So this is just to say, get out of the scarcity streets, right? If you can open your mind to realizing that you have so many options, that you have options beyond having to be in entrepreneurship. Like, this just might not be your season to thrive in your business. This might be a season to build something somewhere else. This might be a season of working employment so you can take that check, take that 20% and set it aside so that maybe in 6 months to a year, you can go buy a building, right? That you won't have to hustle up every month with clients, but you can buy a building, like you can own some property, or you could make different sorts of investments that might just benefit you a little bit more because you recognize the season. It's hard to recognize the season sometimes, but sometimes that's the prayer. Like, I prayed a lot, like, God, prosper my business, but I'm praying for something, like, though that prayer doesn't expire. I'm going to have a business that God is going to prosper in the right season, but recognizing, like, this might not be the season where God is activating that blessing. This might be another season. So my prayer that really accelerated things for me most recently, like in the past 3 months, has been like, God, give me, like, show me the vision that you have of my life in this season. Like, let me see your vision for my life in this season so I can align, so I can get on board. Because who are we to think that we have a better idea for what's best for us in a season, and that we can be so stubborn by it that we become ungrateful, when we can just align to what God has for us, because he has the ultimate best. So, like, my plan for my life in this season, in the next season, in prior seasons, that's not the best plan. God's plan is the best. And the best thing that I can do is ask God for that vision. Father God, can you reveal the vision that you have? Can you reveal the larger plan, the larger vision? Can you reveal the type of blessing that you have for me in this season? Like, you don't just have to bless when I'm asking you to bless. Lord, I just want the blessing that you already preordained for me, and I'm going to be bold enough to ask for it, and I'm going to be trusting and faithful and faithful enough to be like, God, whatever good you have for me, I'll accept it right now. And that's where I'm at. It's just like, God, whatever good you have for me, like, I'm willing to accept it right now. Like, whatever blessing you have for me in this season, Father, I accept it. I am in expectation of all the beautiful good that you have for me, even if it is wildly surpasses what my imagination could imagine. Like, that's where I'm at. So some of the ways that I've been blessed recently, like, were completely unexpected to me. Like, oh shoot, Lord, you want to bless me like that right now? Like, okay, I'll take that. That's great. I love it. Thank you so much. Didn't know we was ready for that, but you said so I'm cool with that. Like, that's where I'm at right now. And I still get anxious. I still get nervous. I still get worried. I still battle with all of my human emotions, and I still battle with trusting God the way that I should, to a fullness. But the beautiful thing is, like, just pray through it. Pray through the fear. Pray through the fear. Allow your soul to move through the obstacle, because the obstacle is a shadow. And what? Psalm 23, right? It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, right? It's not the valley of death. It's the valley of shadows of death, shadows of things that are making you fearful and afraid. They're just shadows. They're not solid obstacles. They are intangible obstacles. They're obstacles of the mind. They're obstacles of perception. They're a perception. What is a shadow? A shadow is an appearance of something. It's an appearance of an obstacle, right? It's a cast. It's not an actual solid thing. So the valley of the shadow of death, it's not really death, it's the shadow of death. And what can you do? You can walk through a shadow. You can walk through a perception of fear. And that's what fears really are. But we think that they're real. We think that they're real, so we just stop, or we walk around them, or we don't proceed. We don't progress because we are afraid of the shadow of an obstacle. But we can really walk through it. Like I've walked through in this season, I've walked through shadows of obstacles, and I walk through them and I pray through them. And then it's just like, wow, that wasn't nearly as terrifying as I thought it was going to be. Like I thought that it was going to kill me. I thought that the valley of the shadow of death was going to kill me. But guess what? It wasn't real death. It was just shadows of death, to intimidate those who don't have the faith enough to keep going, to intimidate those who haven't yet fortified themselves with like the word that God speaks that tells you that you have nothing to fear. So that's what this season has been for me. It's been walking through shadows. It's been walking through limiting perceptions that I had, but like, one of my favorite things, like from Hebrews 11, it talks about how Noah moved with fear, but with knowledge of what God told him. It says something like he moved with holy fear, being warned by God, right? Like God told him some things, and he took action on what God told him off the revelation, the knowledge, the wisdom God gave him, but he still had to move through that thing with fear. Like he still had to proceed with fear. And that's okay. Proceed through things with fear, because oftentimes, like, that's what you have to do. Like, that's what fearlessness is, really. Fearlessness is being afraid and doing it anyway. Like, that's what people commonly say courage is, doing something, even having a fear of it. So I know this sounds cliche, but like, it is your fears that are really holding you back. That if you get clear on what you want and you boldly approach something, even though you're tentative, even though you're afraid, even though if you don't know if you can handle it, even though this doesn't look like exactly what your mind came up with, but you can feel that this is what God has told you, or you ask for God's vision, and because it's God's vision, but you still don't feel like you could handle it, but because God said it's for you, you can handle it, because he has a good future for you. He's not sending you into the valley of death. He's telling you, I'm with you as you walk through the valley of shadows of death. Look, that's this word. That's all I got for now. Nah, I'm sure I could keep going, but I don't want to make this too long. Yeah, this turned into something, didn't it? So anyways, this is Dorothy Marie. I love you sincerely, because God commanded that we love one another. So I love you. And I hope that you're having a great day. And I hope that you allow your soul to move through these obstacles, because it can. Because it can. Because you can. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. And if you have a comment, if you like this, if this inspired you, then, hit the like button, post a comment. And what's really great is that you can share this with other people who you think that this might encourage as well. So thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. later.